Are you a Too Opinionated subscriber? Did you know there's 15 million podcasts out there? And of those 15 million, only 38,000 have enough viewers to be listed on IMDb, the entertainment database. Of those 38,000, Too Opinionated is ranked number 82. Father and son team. Most of those podcasts that are ahead of us are the big companies, Disney, Marvel, Joe Rogan, those type of podcasts. We have over 600 episodes, actors, musicians, producers, directors, writers, anything that you could possibly want in the entertainment world, we're covering it. And we'd like your support. If you're not subscribed, it's easy to do and it's free. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Just go there and click that subscribe button. Helps us a ton. If you're listening, wherever you listen to your podcast from, subscribe there. It'll help us so much. And please go to imdb.com and check out our page. Look up the Too Opinionated Podcast, imdb.com, and just look around the page. It really helps us a ton. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for your support. Until next time, bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. So excited today. I've got actress Cristina Rosato with me. So welcome, Cristina.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. I was so excited to talk with you. I've seen you, like my wife and I have seen you pop up in a ton of shows.
Oh,
You're always just kind of in there, and I think you do such a good job with the shows. Now, I know you got a new movie coming out. We want to talk about that, but let's start here.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about what got you into the entertainment business. Why do you want to become an actress?
Well, I realized I wanted to become an actress when I was like 6 years old, I think. I don't think I knew.
Pretty early.
Yeah, it was very early, but I just wanted to do so many things. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be an archaeologist. I as most little kids, I was just curious and interested in so many different things. And then when I think I was watching Indiana Jones movie and realizing that Harrison Ford was this archaeologist, but I sort of had a realization that he was just an actor playing an archaeologist. And then I was like, oh, acting, that allows me to sort of do lots of different things. And so when I was little, that was sort of the thing that interested me and sort of started the path onto, and then truly falling in love with acting way later in life, because I was too young to understand what that was. And I didn't grow up with anyone in my family in show business, so they didn't put me in anything. I just sort of went to school, but I sort of was always interested in it. And then that, I guess, curiosity just led me into exploring acting. And then I truly fell in love with like theater and plays and acting. I really loved it.
I love that. That. So I guess my question for your early years is, how did your parents handle it? So were they just like, okay, that's a phase?
I mean, I don't know if they thought it was a phase. If they did, they didn't tell me that, which I really respect that now that I'm a parent, I mean, she's nowhere near telling me what she wants to do, but now that I'm a parent, I respect that they allowed me to explore anything I told them I wanted to do, if it was, decent and safe or whatnot. But they were very supportive. I wanted to join theater and do plays, and they let me do that. And then as I got older and it was time for me to sort of really choose a more focused career path or studies, that's when they realized I was serious, and they said, well, if you're serious, then study it, go do it seriously.
Good for them.
Yeah, they were really supportive, and I'm forever indebted to them because I really think anything in the arts is so it's so hard, even with support, that I can't imagine not having support.
Well, that's it. And
emotional support,
you need that, especially early on, because you know how that goes. If somebody discourages you early on, you may never go into that profession.
You may never go into it. Exactly. And I think I remember having a teacher in grade 6 who told me I would never I wanted to be, she was actually a drama teacher. I haven't thought about this, by the way, in so long. I
That
don't know
seems
what it is
wrong.
about you that's bringing this up in me.
I mean, what's the point to teach drama if you're just like, no, you don't want to go?
She told me I would never be an actress.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know what she saw in me or didn't see in me, but I just remember, I honestly have not thought about this since I probably wrote about it in my diary when I was like 10.
You haven't like wanted to go back to be like, hey.
No, I haven't even thought about it because she was the only person. Don't get me wrong, there's tons of rejection in this industry.
Sure.
I've had my fair share, but the only person who was like a teacher or a parent that ever discouraged me, everybody else was supportive.
It's really surprising that a drama.
I know that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I wish I remembered her name because I'd be like,
unless
I hope you're not a teacher anymore.
You suddenly got way better.
Yeah. I mean, at 10, I must have really sucked. Who knows? Maybe that's when my mom, I told my mom I wanted to be an actress. She was like, She was just like, sure.
For an actress, you make a good bus driver.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah.
Did I see that you wrote a children's book?
I did. Yeah. Yeah. I did that with my cousin during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And just sort of right at the beginning of it when everything was unknown and just when the world locked down right at the beginning. And my cousin and I are best friends, and she has a daughter who's about 4 now, but at the time was 2. Yeah. And we're talking a lot about our issues and just our feelings. And we thought about writing something with her daughter in mind to think how to explain like having to stay home to a little one and sort of how to go around big feelings and stuff. So it was a really nice project to take on during the pandemic. And we partnered with the children and gave, I can't remember how many, but most of the proceeds from it was a free book it was donation based. And then any donations were just sent over to Save the Children.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really.
You actually used your COVID time wisely.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed the first.
I started going stir crazy. I was just like eating all the time and drinking all the time. I was like, okay, I need to do something.
I held out for like 5 or 6 months, and then I was just like, I guess I'm just going to get fat because I'm out of what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all got a little fat during COVID. I think that's okay. I think those were like surviving happy pounds.
That's it. We needed comfort.
Oh yeah. Time. Any comfort. I mean, yeah, food is comfort. It's wonderful. I think it's fine.
But now the years since, it has not been easy getting that weight back off.
Running around after a 1-year-old is
that'll do it.
Yeah.
They should, like, I guess you could wear a step tracker. But I'd be curious with that.
People wear the watches and whatnot and track their steps. So,
but I bet you get a ton of mileage on that and just don't even realize it.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Maybe that's what I'm missing. I need to get back into the
run after your grandbabies more. That's all.
You would think that I could keep up a little bit. I can't. They move so fast at a young age.
I know, it's wild.
Like
if you started walking, and I just can't believe she's running.
Just wait.
Yeah.
I mean, if you turn your head for a second, they're into something.
Yep.
It never fails.
Nope.
I know. I do pretty good on my. I'm a pawpaw. They call me pawpaw. But on my pawpaw days, I do pretty good, even though I usually have 4 or 5 of them until I don't. Yeah. So, it's fine until Pawpaw needs, 2 minutes to himself or whatever. And then I got no backup.
It's hard. It's hard. When you're alone, it's really tough.
It's pretty tough. And it's always in, a couple hours at a time. It's nothing too bad. But I feel for the parents because there's very little breaks at that time.
No breaks. I mean, I have a break now. My partner took her out because I was like, I need some alone quiet time in here right now.
How sad that your alone time is on a podcast.
I know. I'm actually very much, this is great. This is nice.
If I remember those days right, the adult conversation is nice.
Yeah. If I start speaking like nonsense, you know why.
That's all right. I'm used to it. I'll probably just respond.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the name of the book?
It was called A Hero Too.
Oh, I love that.
So their children can be a hero too by, washing their hands and staying home.
Well, now you got your own little one, so you've
Yeah.
already got the book done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. That my wife and I have been working on a children's book. We don't really have any intention to publish it, but just to publish it for the grandbabies.
That's so nice. I mean, we self-published it. We didn't,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's I think it's interesting that you can do that now and do pretty well with it.
Yeah.
Without going through the whole big, but because you've got Amazon and all these other places that'll actually fulfill the book orders for you. Yeah, it's not too bad. I've been fussing at my wife because she's the artist. I've written the story. I was like, the story's done. So we're just waiting on her artwork, which is way harder, I think, than the story. But it's going to be worth the wait.
For sure. Yeah, the artwork is key. You really need it.
Who did yours?
Her name was Leanne Thiessen, and we actually found her. I looked through tons of children's artists, and we wanted to find a Canadian artist. And we approached her with we pitched her our project and that we were partnered with Save the Children, and she did it. We all did it free of charge. I mean, there was no budget for this book, and she did it, just out of the goodness of her heart. And she didn't even know us. So it was really, people really came together. It was so nice.
I love that. I love that. And you used it for a good cause.
Yeah. We just wanted to do something good and have a project and try something we love. I love a challenge. It was a real challenge. I don't know if I would do it again.
Did you have to communicate on Zoom or were you able to get together to work on it?
No, it was all on Zoom.
Yeah, isn't that great?
We're all in different cities. I was here on Salt Spring. My cousin was in Montreal, and Leanne, I believe, lives in, I can't remember now, but maybe Winnipeg, or where we're not in the same part.
That's kind of amazing that we're able to do that now.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's maybe not quite on the level of musicians playing together on Zoom and actually sounding good. That amazes me.
I can't imagine.
How would you get the timing down?
Yeah. My brother is a musician, and I think he did a few Zoom sessions, concert sessions during the pandemic. And I just don't know how to do that.
So I wanted to ask you about City on a Hill. Mm-hmm. It's which I love that show. It was so well done. It was because it had that 80s kind of vibe to it. It's kind of gritty,
vulgar 80s.
Yeah, it was really good. But I thought you were excellent in that. You showed up on one of the episodes, and when you showed up, I was like, she looks like she would be in that city at that time.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment because I love that. I love that vibe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If I was casting and I saw your resume, I would pick you because I just think you fit that whole time period.
Thank you. Yeah, and I love that sort of mouthy East Coast sort of. I feel I'm not really that, but I feel like inside maybe I am.
Because what was it? Philly? Where was it supposed to take place?
In Boston.
Oh, Boston. That's right.
Yeah, Boston. Right. We filmed it in New Jersey, but it was supposed to be Boston.
Yeah. I thought that one was really good. And then I saw that you do some voice acting, which is pretty great. So we have watched some of the Willoughbys.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the grandbabies like that one.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and you did I think several of the.
I did. Yeah, there were a lot of I wasn't any of the main characters in that particular film, so there were lots of the little small characters all around. I don't even know how many I did, a lot of them.
A lot of them, yeah. That ADR work, you can do pretty well doing that type of work. And it's just all the extra voices or noise sound.
And that was actually the first time I'd ever done that type of voice work, because I worked a lot in video. I've done a lot of video games where I had actual characters and I did the motion capture and the voice for the characters. And so that was it was really fun. That was a very immersive experience where I'm really seeing one character even through 3 games. I had, lots of time with them.
Was that Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. I played a character called Caterina Sforza, who was actually a real historical figure. And
That's awesome.
I got to play her in 2 or 3 video games. I think she was in like just the DLC of one of the video games.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about, I don't play those games. They're way too advanced for me.
Well, yeah, same.
I like Super Mario, you know.
I was gonna say you're probably Nintendo. I was Atari.
Oh, I love Nintendo. You were what?
I was Atari.
I remember Atari, Hamburger Time.
If you give me a joystick, with one button, I can do that. You start adding buttons and all that. I have trouble with that.
Yeah, but even Sega, Sega I could do, but like Nintendo was my jam.
Yeah, Nintendo was great. Still is.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of making a comeback now.
I heard yeah,
you can, they're putting out the old games and the systems and all that stuff. But I asked Brett, my son, and he said your character was awesome in those games.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah, him and his cousins played all those Assassin's Creed games.
Nice.
Yeah, they really liked them. But
what was really cool actually about Assassin's Creed is, so I don't know if you know much about video games, but when you were at that time, we were recording the voice and the motion separately. Now it's all together. But so I would record the voice and then we would go and into this big sort of like room that would have like rubbers down and there's cameras all around the room. And you're in these, what you've seen, I'm sure, those motion capture suits with the laser, like the reflector balls all over you and all that stuff.
It's a good look.
It's a great look. And it's all make believe. So like in the video game, they have all the CGI and you see, you're in the city of Venice or you're in wherever you are in Milan, but in the room when you're recording it, they put like rubber mats down on the floor and they're like, okay, this is a hallway 3 feet this way. And then you turn here and that's the library. And then you go a little bit more here and that's the garden. And you're just picturing it and pretending. But we did so much work on that game that like cut to a year later, I was in Milan for work. And I was like, wait a minute, I know my way around this castle because this was my character's castle.
Oh, I love that.
It was like historically accurate and geographically accurate. That's
amazing.
I had a real whoa, like
a deja vu feeling, I bet.
Yeah, it was very strange and super cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
did the well, probably not because it was a historical figure, so I'm guessing that the figure did not look like you.
No.
Yeah. Did you have to do any stunts with it?
I don't particularly do stunts, and this character wasn't. She wasn't a fighter.
You didn't have to train for it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, people who do stunt actors, that's a whole other skill that I definitely don't have. I'm a person that like if like there's balls flying, I'm just like, that's me.
No sports in your background?
I hated team sports. Like I liked swimming, gymnastics, dancing. So I like solo. Nothing flying at me. No balls on catch.
When it's a solo activity, I mean, you're in control. So I'm
in control. And again, I don't have to catch anything. I'm scared. That's me. I'm like, people playing frisbee near me in the park. I'm like, we're going over there.
I think the next time we talk, we need to do it in person. And I'll just be throwing balls at you.
That would be terrifying for me.
I like ask a question and then throw something at you.
Yeah, sure. Be a really strange social experiment. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how good an interview it would be, but I'm betting it
might be very entertaining or just very sad. I'm probably sad.
Well, if you let me do that, then I'm sure we'll find something that I'm terrible at. Because there's plenty, and we can reverse it.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. If it involves dance, I am immediately out of my element.
Okay, maybe we do an interview where I ask you questions while dancing.
Okay.
Only the whole interview we have to be dancing.
Yeah, see, that might help me because
like freestyle.
Yeah, maybe it'll distract me enough that I'll get over the nerves. Maybe, probably not though. That's my problem. Like my wife will tell me that is if I'm not paying attention and there's music playing, but I'm thinking of something else or whatever, I can probably dance in rhythm. Yeah. Because I'm not, but as soon as you bring it to my attention, I lose it.
Well, that's like anything I find in life. Like it's kind of I hate to say it, but like a lesson. When you're focusing too much on something, you just like don't remember how to do it or something. You just
it gets awkward. You get in your own head. Yeah. So, okay. So the new movie, I'll make sure I get this right. Ariel back to Buenos Aires.
Yep, nailed it.
Yeah. So what's your role? What's the movie about?
I play Diana Vega. The movie's about a brother and sister who live in Canada, but they were born in Buenos Aires in Argentina, and they decide to go back to their birth country to sort of reconnect with their past and spice up their life. They're both in a bit of a rut. And while they're there, they discover the Argentinian tango, and they also discover sort of the real reason their parents left Argentina, which is based on true stories and sort of a very dark, it takes a kind of a dark turn a little bit.
Oh, no. Are they spies?
No, they're not spies. Although I think my character would love to be a spy because she's very nosy.
Oh, yeah.
She's a bit nosy. Yeah.
Did you actually have to tango?
I did. So when I found out I booked the role, they immediately put me into tango lessons. And
That's a good benefit.
Oh, huge. I mean, I'd never danced the Argentinian tango or any tango for that matter. And then when we went to Argentina for about 2 or 3 weeks before we started filming the movie, and it was just everyday tango classes. And it was amazing. Even though, sorry?
That's pretty intense.
It was very intense. Even though in the film, my character doesn't become, I'm not like a dancer in the film. I'm learning tango in the film as well. But even just to look like half decent, to do like a little bit of a choreography, I had to do like 2 months of training.
Well, did you dance as you were growing up?
I did, yeah. Nothing super formal, but I sort of dabbled in ballet.
At least you kind of understood the movements.
I did, and I can pick up choreography relatively quickly, but tango is really different than every other dance. Every dance is pretty different, but even tango is like hearing like what you have to dance to and following your partner, and
there's a lot.
There's a lot.
It always looks amazing though. Two people that know how to tango is the best to watch.
We went out to tango clubs, like they're called milongas, which is sort of tango bars, and we would just go out at night. They start at like midnight and they end at 6 a.m. And there's people of all ages. It's truly incredible. The tango culture in Argentina, well, tango culture in general, I've discovered is really thriving. It's really cool.
People love to dance.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. So what's the difference in the different tangos?
Well, I'm not an expert, but from what I've sort of learned, there's basically the tango that most people see on, Dancing with the Stars or any sort of ballroom. And then there's the Argentinian tango, which is not meant to be for show. It's really a social dance in the same way that like salsa at a salsa club is sort of, just two people dancing, versus salsa when you see it on a show is very like,
right.
No one actually does that at a salsa club. I mean, unless you're going to like that type of salsa club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People just sort of dance. It's a cultural, social dance. And Argentine tango has a similar, it's not the same type of dance, but similarly, what we see, that sort of like, that cliche sort of like rose in the mouth, like fast, slow. That's not what you'll see in Argentina. Argentine tango is, it's really beautiful, and it's all in an embrace that's like a hug. You're basically hugging when you're dancing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
See, that sounds like my kind of dance.
Yeah, it's so nice, and the movements are sort of a little bit more fluid, and it's very different than what sort of I knew.
Well, yeah, because you think of tango, you think of those kind of jerky movements.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not. The only thing that I think carries over is a lot of that leg work, like the real cool, like I don't know. Yeah. All that sort of cool footwork holds, but it's just sort of a little bit different in the Argentine tango.
It's pretty great. And I'm picking up that you get to travel a lot with the acting.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you probably speak at least a couple of different languages.
I do. I speak 3 languages fluently, and then I do also speak a little bit I speak English, French, and Italian fluently, and then I speak a little bit of Spanish. My Spanish gets better when I'm surrounded by it. If you were to ask me to speak Spanish right now, it's like rusty.
Yeah, see, I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's with any language. If you're not actively using it, you can't retain it.
Oh, you can't. But it does like come back pretty quickly if it's somewhere in there.
Yeah, is
Riding a bike. It really is like riding a bike, you know?
well, and like French is such a beautiful language, and I like Italian too. But are those similar as far as learning? Do they kind of match up, or is it completely different?
French and Italian are similar because they're Latin, but I wouldn't say that Italian helps you with French that much. French is kind of its own, it's very complicated and
Yes.
grammatically complicated. The rules, like it's like very complicated. Italian is a phonetic language, which means like what you see is what you pronounce,
Right.
As opposed to English, where like
Oh my gosh.
puff
English is the
or
worst
through,
language.
like there's so many like weird words and like sounds and like don't pronounce this, and then there's like a GH, it's a f, and it doesn't make any sense, you know.
Yeah,
But
English, if you're just looking to learn a language,
it's
not
really
any
hard.
language. Yeah.
It makes no sense. And but Italian is different. It's you pronounce everything you see, so that makes it a little bit easier. But I do find that Italian and Spanish are very similar. So it's helpful to a point, and then it's super confusing because it's too similar. And so you're like, wait a minute. But yeah, my
Yeah.
brain goes short circuits because I'm Italian. Italian was my first language. So I'm fluent in Italian. But when I was in Argentina, I wanted to speak Spanish because
Sure.
obviously I was like, oh, great, let's speak Spanish. And everyone speaks Spanish there. But I didn't know this, but a lot of Argentinians have Italian backgrounds. A lot of them are descendants of Italy. And so when they found out I was Italian, they all wanted to speak Italian because they're like, oh, my nonna, like my grandmother was Italian. We used to speak Italian. Let's speak Italian. And my brain could not both at the same time. I was like, no.
Yeah, it'd be hard switching, just switching gears.
I couldn't do it. It was like very confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have trouble with that. So I know you love to cook. Did you pick up any meals when you were in Argentina?
To cook, I didn't cook anything while I was in Argentina because I was like, I want to go out and eat everything.
Well, yeah, I don't blame you. Did you
Yeah.
pick anything up though that you brought back to make?
No, I didn't actually. Oh, yes, I did. Chimichurri. Have you ever had chimichurri?
I love chimichurri with
Okay.
that's kind of a Cuban type
Well,
of
I'm sure I think every sort of culture has their
has their
flair,
yeah.
their sort of idea.
Yeah.
But the Argentinian chimichurri, I had never had anything like this. And on Sundays, we'd often have what they call asados, which is a barbecue, but they have their parrillas, which are what their barbecues are called, parrillas, and they just grill all day. And everybody get together. We'd go to our director's house, and she had a pool, and her husband would just grill meats all day. And the meat was just, I'm not even a huge meat eater, and it was like to die. And one of our sound guy, Nico, he brought a jar of homemade chimichurri. And we were just talking and eating, and I had some chimmy on my piece of meat, and I was like, "What is this? Who made this? What is this?" It was so mind-blowing, and I had never tasted anything like that. And so he gave me the recipe. So now that is a staple at our home.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that recipe from you. I would not make it myself, but my wife would make that.
It's so good and so easy and just goes so well. Now we make like, we put it on sausages, put it on meat, put it on anything. It's so good. So yeah, I brought that home. I fell in love with empanadas down there. They make incredible empanadas. Yeah. But I'm not making empanadas any day soon. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I had some of those. I was where was I at? I was at it was kind of an upscale Mexican restaurant in LA, and they served those, and they were really good.
I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not bad.
I love dough. I love meat. I'm like, put them together. I'm all for it.
I know you can't go wrong with bread and meat.
No, you can't. You really can't. Love carbs.
I did the keto diet a few.
Oh, I'm sorry. How did it go?
Oh, it was miserable.
Sounds awful.
It was. It works. Like if the goal is to lose weight, it works.
I'm like thinking of happiness. You know,
you're not happy.
No, I mean, I understand having to do it for health reasons because I think there are some health concerns that it really, really helps. But if you're just doing it to lose weight, by all means, do what you got to do. But
well, it does help you get to, if you're having trouble getting your weight down, it does help.
Like a jump start type of thing.
It's a good jump start, but I do not recommend it long term. We did it for a couple months, and I lost a ton of weight. And you know what messed us up is Thanksgiving came. And so we were like, well, we'll take a day off for Thanksgiving. because we've been
Yeah.
good for a couple of months. We'll take a day off for Thanksgiving, get right back on. Never happened. As
Oh,
soon as I tasted food, I was like, I'm not going back to that.
no, it's
Carbs. As
hard.
soon as I got carbs, I was like, I'm done.
I cut carbs at times in my life when I was like trying all these different diets, like when I was much younger. It was so miserable. I mean, I really am I'm a foodie, and the like having to like watch not eating bread or not eating pasta or pizza. I was like, this
You
is not,
eat so much
I'd rather
chicken.
have the extra pounds on me. I'd rather, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
trying to
same.
like, I'm not trying to cut up for a competition or
Right.
anything. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, that was kind of I was like, well, what are we doing this
why?
for?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
it's one thing if you're unhealthily overweight,
That's
then
right.
you really should watch that, whatever that means. But if you're just sort of like you want to be a little bit trimmer or whatever, like honestly, who
Let's go to
cares?
the gym.
Who cares? Go to the gym, eat healthy, don't eat it for every meal, you
That's
know.
it. That's it. Yeah, that's been several years back because before COVID hit, and we do not
Oh,
have much diet.
COVID was a whole other thing. I gained like I don't know how much. I didn't weigh, but it was real.
You know, it was one of those that they shut down the gyms, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right, I run, so I was like, I'll just go to the park and run, and then they shut down the parks, and I was like, okay, I'll just get the weights out and try to do some of that, and then eventually you just get tired of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I did it. I worked out pretty much every day. I like working out. I'm one of those people. So
Mm-hmm.
I did it, but I think I wasn't evening out how
Yeah, yeah,
much
yeah.
I think it was the alcohol too. Like I don't drink normally. Like, I mean, I don't, I've
We're all
drank it
drinking a little more
years
than
now
usual.
because of my baby, but I was drinking a lot and eating a lot of sugars, which I don't normally do either, you know, because you're just home.
Yeah, there's so much time to fill up.
And there's like no work, no prospect of work. People are also my family in Italy. A lot of people got sick. My family in Montreal, a lot of people were in the hospital. It was like a scary time. It was a
Yeah,
very scary time. And so I just ate lots of cinnamon
I know.
buns.
I know. I was the same.
Can't be sad while you're eating a cinnamon bun, you know? So you just
No,
keep
I
eating.
was very happy actually. But then, at some point you're like, okay, I got to get this weight back off. Then the payback comes.
Yeah.
I
Feel
know.
that.
Luckily, we only have those pandemics like every 100 years, so we should be good.
We should be good. Knock on everything.
I
Yeah.
know. I will say that the pandemic, especially when we were in quarantine, I would give it up, but it was really good for the podcast.
I bet.
Everybody was home looking for
Yep.
something to do, so
Yep.
we didn't get a lot of no's during that time. I'd give it up, if we could have skipped the whole thing, but
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said we didn't benefit from it.
Listen, I do think there was like a silver lining. I don't want to say so. I mean, it was a tough time, and I wish it didn't happen. But at the same time, you sort of have to do what you have to do, and there were some nice aspects of the slowdown, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Agree. It was about October. I was like, boy, I really should have used this time better. Should have written a children's book.
7 months now, yeah.
So we saw you on A Million Little Things, Party of Five, I think,
Yep.
and The Good Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you always do such a good job when you show up on screen, but you hit like all the emotional dramas.
I do. I don't want to say that's my like pigeonhole, or you know what I mean? Like it's my, yeah, but I'm like, oh, this audition, they want me to cry a lot. Oh, I'm gonna book it. You want some sad, I don't know what it is, but maybe because I'm like Italian and they're used to seeing Italians like being very dramatic, and there's something that fits, they're like,
oh, is that true? Are you dramatic normally?
Yes.
Okay. Do you talk with your hands a lot?
Have I been not talking with my hands? I think I'm aware because I can see that I'm like, whoa, so I'm trying. But yeah, I talk a lot with my hands. Some of the stereotypes are true. They don't bother me. They are based in reality, and that's okay.
Do you have a trick to make yourself cry, or are you just one of those that can turn it on and off?
I used to be not able to. I used to really stress about having to cry in a scene. And now, no, it's no problem. I mean, I think honestly, and I'm not to like go down like a sad note, but I think, I think I just have a sadness in my heart. No, but I think that as you grow and like live more life and more shit happens to you, it's just easier to access and to sympathize in situations. I think that as with age, I think that just comes a little bit, and just life experiences. You know what I mean? Like, not to say like I dig up all my dead relatives anytime I need to cry, but like if my character is going through something and I need to be sad, like I just know what that feels like. And so I can just get into it.
You can tap into it.
I can just tap in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous of that because I cry at the drop of a hat. I'll cry at anything, but if I have to do it on demand, I don't think I could do it.
I mean, there's definitely like a transition learning period, because the pressure of having to cry makes you immediately not want to cry, because it's like such a weird thing to do. But I think like now I've been acting for, I don't know, 25 years professionally. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a long time. That like the being around cameras and being around people and hearing action, you just sort of get more used to it. But at the beginning, it's hard. It's hard to just turn it on. You know, I used to stress. I used to like lose sleep if I knew I had to cry the next day, because
it's kind of stressful because the focus is definitely going to be on you.
Yeah.
At that
point.
God,
let me tell you a quick story. I did a movie a long time ago called Territories, and I had to cry in a scene, and it was like earlier on in my career. Anyway, so the makeup artist knew I was nervous, and they always have like cry, like tear sticks, where basically they can blow a little bit of like menthol in your eye and it makes you tear because it's minty. Yeah. And I was like so nervous, and I was like, she's like, do you want me to blow some menthol in your eye? I was like, yeah, let's do it, you know. So she did it. And I was like,
too much.
We had to pause for like 10 minutes. I couldn't open my eyes.
Yeah, I think I'd have trouble with that.
She assumed that I had already tried the stick, because normally you would have to try it before.
Yeah, to make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, and so I've never used a tear stick since then, because I have very sensitive eyes, I realized, and so I can't. So if I can't cry, I just don't, and that's that. And we'll have another take, and then maybe it'll come then. You know, I just. Sometimes it happens that you're like,
you gotta stay hydrated.
I'm dead inside today. This is not happening.
Well, that's right. I mean, some days it's just, you're just not in the, it's like an effort to have to cry.
Yeah. Some days I have to like pull out all my like tools of like acting school, like how to cry. Sometimes that happens, and it's hard work, but I can tell if before a scene, I can tell if it's like there or if it's not there. If it's not there, I pull out my homework and I do what I need to do to make sure that I'm there. But some days I know if I just think about it and it's like, whoop, I'm like, okay, we're good. You know what I mean?
Well, so if you know you have to cry in a scene coming up, do you start getting overly emotional before, you know, the time comes, like the day before? Yeah. Are you very emotional?
No, not the day before. Never that far before. But if I'm having one of those days where I'm dead inside, and I feel that I'm gonna have to like work for the tears, then I do what I learned in acting school, which works for me. Not just everybody has like, there's a million ways to do it. There's no right way, but and also some days it works, some days it doesn't. So like you just got to try different. Normally, I try to do emotional preparation, which for me, depending on how hard I need to cry in the scene, I try to get myself to that stage before I'm on set. Because I don't know if you've ever had that where you've just been crying a lot, you can easily just start crying a little bit after.
Yeah, that. Actually, I get that.
Yeah, it's like raw, you know? And so I try to get myself in my trailer or in a corner by myself into that place where I'll need to be in the scene, and then I'll drop it, because often you don't start a scene there.
Right. That's right. Yeah, that was going to be my question. How do you hang on to it?
You have to drop it. You have to drop it. It's like what we were saying about like thinking about dancing and then not thinking about it. You have to not think about it and just hope and trust that it'll come, because you did the homework. You did your homework. It's active. It should be there when you need it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good acting lesson, actually.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it's hard because sometimes you need like an hour to get to the cry you need to get to. So you need to know yourself as an actor, and you need to know what you need. And I think that that's what I've learned so much through all these years of working, is like, I know now to know what I need and to make sure I give myself space and time for whatever it is that I need. Cause sometimes people want to talk or they want to play or whatever you want to do. And I'm like, I gotta go. Like,
Well, yeah, that was kind of what I would think. So you put all this time in, and then you still have to go to set and probably do other stuff before you get to that thing. What if somebody makes you laugh or something, just get you
I
completely out of it?
usually, again, if I know I need to be in a place, I'll just kind of stay in a zone. I won't be like crying, but I just sort of stay grounded is like the best way to put it. And I won't really engage that much with any other,
well, that makes sense.
I love to like shoot the shit on set and like whatever. But if I have to do something like that, I sort of just take my space. And most people on set like really understand when they see an actor, like everybody understands that like, oh, they've got an emotional scene coming up. Like they don't want to like shoot the shit. You know what I mean? So
yeah, leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Even makeup and hair, and everybody's really good about like, I usually don't like looking at the makeup people are like in your face, like, doing their stuff. And I just sort of look down or I close my eyes and and they understand. I don't even need to say like, I'm not going to talk to you because I have to like, they're like, they get it,
Yeah, because that's what they do.
That's what they do. Yeah.
They get it. I've got a good buddy that's an actor, and he listens to sad music.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me. I've tried that. It just puts me in my head like but it works for a lot of people.
Well, he does it as a way to drown everybody out too.
Fair enough.
Put his headphones in and just kind of get into that zone himself. But it also lets people know, hey, I'm not interacting.
No, that's a great way. I just have now no issue being like, I'm not talking right now. Like I'm just like in my head. I'll just tell you straight up, like not now.
My oldest, my daughter, she said because I always play that game with the family, like, what have you seen this person in? Right. And most of the time they haven't seen anything. Hers is normally a Christmas movie, but this one though wasn't the Christmas movie. It was Turner and Hooch.
Oh yeah.
Her and her daughter.
Yep.
To watch that one. She said you were on several of those.
Yeah, I did a few episodes of that. That was a really fun one.
Yeah. Because that was the remake, right? That was the remake that Disney did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago that it came out, and we didn't get a second season, but we had so much fun filming that. It was really cool.
That stuff. It's so interesting how those decisions are made, because you get some shows that are critically acclaimed but never get an audience, but they keep them.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't. Or you have a show that is just terrible. Like you watch it and you're like, how does something like this get on TV? And it'll run for years. It's just it's so weird how that I'd love to pick the brains of the people making those decisions just to see what goes into deciding.
Well, the big one is money. The big one is money. If like Disney, like Turner and Hooch was an expensive show to make. And so it probably, we don't know how many people watched it, because like this is the issue we're all dealing with now. Nobody's sending out the numbers. And so clearly it wasn't worth it for them, whatever that means.
Yeah. And I get these companies trying to hang on to those numbers, but they're going to have to give them up at some point. It's going to happen. It'll probably won't happen until we completely run out of stuff to watch, but
I don't know when that's going to happen. There's a lot of stuff to watch.
A lot of stuff out there.
Libraries of stuff that they could buy from like old stuff. And anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Very time. It's necessary though, because like obviously, it needs to happen, but it's definitely
scary. It has to happen. Yeah, that and the whole thing with AI, you got to figure that out. It seems easy to me. Like if you use somebody's image,
you pay every time.
You should have to pay for that.
They want to pay just for the half day. It makes no sense. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. We could that's a whole podcast by itself.
It is, exactly.
We could talk about that for a while. So the other one I wanted to bring up was Mother. You had the role in that. Did you get to work at all with Jennifer Lawrence?
I was very small role in that film, but I was so thrilled to be working with Darren Aronofsky and Javier Bardem. And it's pretty incredible experience. But no, she was like in the scene that I was in, but I didn't have any interaction with her.
Well, that was my question, because it just from memory, it seemed like I remember her being in the scene with you.
Yeah, and I got to see her work though, which was pretty cool. I mean, her role in that film, the way they shot that film was insanely, it was just insane because they would start with all the wide shots all day long. And then by the end of the day, they would do her like these close-ups, like at the very end of the day when she'd been doing this all day. And normally they don't do that. Like normally you kind of do the close-ups earlier because you're not exhausted. And I guess Darren Aronofsky wanted that sort of feeling of like feeling claustrophobic and frustrated and just sort of that. And he nailed it with that. And it was just really cool just being on that level of talent in terms of the camera operators and him and just
that was a big time movie.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. And yeah, even smaller roles in those type of movies, that has to be so helpful for your career because it shows you can kind of handle being on a big set and working with big stars.
I don't know what what helps and what doesn't help. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea. Like I don't know. You just hope that every step leads you to another. But for me personally, it was just a really incredible experience. To even just, I would have just been happy to watch them filming. Do you know what I mean? Like
I do. Yeah. Could just try to pick up some pointers.
Yeah. It was really, really cool to watch everybody do their thing. And it was an amazing experience.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. So, okay. So Ariel Back to Buenos Aires comes out September 12th. Does that sound right?
It does. Yep.
Is that Monday? When is that? Tuesday.
Actually, is it? I'm going to check. Is it Tuesday?
Today's the 6th. So the 12th will be Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
Yeah. I can't believe it. It's been such a long time coming because like we started filming this before the pandemic.
Really?
So we started filming this in end of January 2020. And then in March, we were a month and a half into filming and about halfway through the film, we got shut down because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then it took us a year and a half to go back and finish filming the movie. So we finished it like a year ago and we had to go finish it in Uruguay, in Montevideo, because Argentina, the COVID situation was just not stable.
Did you do that weren't you pregnant around that time?
I wasn't. I got pregnant later that year.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the timing worked out.
The timing worked out. Yeah. It was 2 years ago that we finished it. Now time is like, I don't know what time is anymore. But it was a year and a half and I was so nervous. Like, are we going to look the same? Like the movie has to
That's a long time.
It's a long time. And we got through this pandemic.
Yeah.
And that changed everybody, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. We all looked.
So I was really nervous to see also just as a person, like, you know, artistically, like where I'm at 1 year versus 2 years later is like very different. And you just want to go back and like redo some of the stuff.
Did you get to go like, did you get to have like a premiere night to watch it?
I mean, we didn't. There was a premiere. We premiered at a few festivals, but because I had like a newborn, I couldn't really travel.
Okay. So you haven't really sat down to watch it yet.
I did have a chance to watch it with a crowd at the Italian Contemporary Film Festival in Toronto in July. We screened it there and it was really nice to watch it with the crowd. The crowd reaction was amazing. And
did your acting pass your own standards?
No, it never does.
Yeah.
Oh God, no. I'm like, okay, no.
Yeah, I get that. I do that with the podcast. I'm like, oh, I could have done that a little better.
I know, and now that it's coming out, my friends are like, let's have a viewing party. I'm like, I would rather die. Like, absolutely not. I don't like watching myself. I really cringe, especially with other people. I just cannot enjoy that experience. I understand that we're all more critical of ourselves, but I am, and I can't watch it. I watched it.
Difficult.
It's very difficult.
I think it'd be difficult because what if some people watching obviously didn't like it?
Honestly, I don't even think about that. I don't even think about that because there are going to be people who like it and there are going to be people who hate it. And that's fine. That's fine. That honestly doesn't bother me. But me watching myself, I just see all my shortcomings and I see what I wish I would have done different, or I wish they picked another take, or like, I don't know, that stuff happens. And I shot this like 3-something years ago. So you're like, but I can appreciate and step back and it is still a beautiful film without I'm not talking about my performance necessarily, but the film itself is like a beautiful story. It's beautifully shot. The music is amazing. Like the scenery is amazing. Like
I'll bet the music is good.
it's amazing. Yeah.
So what channel or streamer is it going to be on? Where can we watch it?
It's going to be on Apple TV and Vudu.
Oh, it's going to be on Apple. Okay.
Yes, you can rent it and yeah, Apple TV and Vudu.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's exciting.
It is. And then I wasn't sure if I was going to even be allowed to talk about it.
Right. Of the price. I know, it surprised me too.
Yeah, but I'm allowed to because of many reasons, but I'm allowed to. So
yeah, well, that's awesome. I know, yeah, with those type of things coming out, you got to get permission to actually
we got permission from the Canadian Union and the US Union to make sure, because I was like, I don't want to do anything.
You don't want to mess that up.
I don't want to mess that up. But also, this is a small indie film that we shot, and if we don't talk about it, no one's going to see it. No,
right. You got to promote it, which is probably why they allow it.
It's also because the contract, it was a Canadian union. It wasn't a SAG contract. It was an ACTRA, which is our Canadian union contract. And I am primarily a Canadian union actor. So it doesn't affect.
I mean, thank goodness for Canadian actors, because they don't keep our podcast afloat. Because I'm not bothering anybody on the American side, because they're not allowed to talk about anything for the most part. There's a few of the indie stuff
that are allowed. Yeah. But I mean, I was so sad thinking I wouldn't be able to talk about this for many reasons. But I was like, we have had so many obstacles with this film, like the pandemic, and now it's finally coming out. And I wouldn't have been, I thought maybe I wasn't going to be allowed to talk about it. And it doesn't have any big stars or big, studio backing it. So how are people going to know about it, And so, yeah, I'm very happy.
Interviews on podcasts.
There you go.
Did you, for such a long shoot, is it difficult? Like, do you have to maintain the same hair, all that stuff?
Yeah, but that's really that's the hair people that take care of that. You don't really have to think about it.
No, that's good. As long as you're not like cutting it short.
Yeah, you can't go and like do something different, in the middle. But the director, when we were waiting to film, like go back into filming, because it was like maybe gonna happen, then maybe gonna happen, then maybe gonna, it was like we were waiting. The director was just like, please don't get pregnant until we finish the movie. She was like, you can get pregnant after we finish the movie, but please don't get pregnant before we finish the movie. Luckily, I wasn't wanting to anyways at that time, so it was fine. But
I thought a year and a half's a long time. I mean, things can change a lot in a year and a half.
So we just like the fact that we could finish it was truly like a miracle.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Cristina, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time.
My pleasure.
I'm so excited to talk with you. I think you're such a talented actress. We always love seeing you and stuff. So it's fun seeing you in like a lead role.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's besides the fact that I cannot watch my performance. That's any project. So that means nothing about the movie.
My son's like that. I told you, he doesn't really like being on camera. He hates listening to himself. And I get it, because sometimes I don't like listening to myself either. But I keep telling you got to watch it. Maybe you'll learn something.
Yeah. I like, for that reason, watching to learn, but it's not an enjoyable experience.
So okay. So a couple of things before we wrap up. Anything else that you're working on that you're allowed to talk about that we can keep an eye out for?
Not at the moment. A lot of productions are just not happening right now. So yeah. Even our Canadian productions, a lot of them have, American ties or whatnot. So everything is sort of on hold for the moment, which, as my baby's 1 years old, I'm like, oh, it's kind of nice.
Timing's pretty good for you, actually.
Timing is nice, actually. So I'm just enjoying being home with my baby, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Is there a genre that you haven't got to do that you would like to do?
Ooh, that's a good question. Turner and Hooch was sort of the first comedy that I got into, and I would love to do more comedy. It was very challenging because I'm like, I've done a lot of drama.
You've done some drama.
I've done a lot of drama, and I like comedy's fun. It's like such a different vibe to not have to like be all sad all the time and
be good at comedy. I think your Italian side could come out.
Yeah, totally. I mean, comedy's hard. It's not, for me, it's not like super instinctual. You got to think about it a bit.
Well, there's a rhythm to it, kind of like dancing. You got to kind of find that rhythm.
Totally. So yeah, I would love to do more comedy and like more real comedy. Like, yeah, I would love to
Yeah,
do
that was
some.
the one that I was thinking of. I was curious. I was
Yeah.
curious because it seemed like you've hit kind of most of the maybe some science fiction. Maybe we could get you
Yeah,
in.
I haven't done much sci-fi actually. That would be really fun too. Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be terrible. Okay, so last thing, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter, which I don't hardly use, but Instagram is what I use most. And my handle is at Rosato, which is my last name.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you get that without having to do a one or an
I
underscore?
don't remember actually. I think good question. I can't remember because I changed it. It was something else before and I changed it to Rosato. I think at the time someone on my publicity team changed it to my name. So I don't know if they had to like take out someone else. I don't know what they did,
There's
but
three ahead of you, but we took care.
yeah, I was like, I think there was another Rosato, but I think that it was the account had been inactive for years. And so they were able to speak to Instagram and just say, listen, there's only one other one. Can we just swap it over? So
Oh, that's pretty. Most of the time, you're not able to do that. That's
I
awesome.
know it was a long time ago now. And I mean, now I think it would be impossible. So
It pays to have a team.
it does. It definitely.
All right, Christina, hold on one second. The talented Cristina Rosato. Hopefully, I got that correct. You know how I am with last names. I'm the worst at it, and I wanted to make sure to get that one right because I knew she was Italian. I wanted to do it justice, but hopefully I did okay. I think she is such a talented actress. I just if you haven't seen her work, and I'm guessing you have, but if you haven't, definitely take a minute, check it out. I didn't bring up Bad Santa 2. She played Alice in that. She was terrific. She was on a little show called Love, Fashion, Repeat. If you're in Canada, she did Hudson and Rex, A Wedding to Remember, and I think the rest we got through. We talked about Assassin's Creed and her work on that, which is really strong if you're a gamer. And the new movie is Ariel, Back to Buenos Aires. Hopefully I didn't butcher that as well. But I think that's right, and it sounds awesome. Sounds. I was telling her, my wife and I plan to make a date night out of it on Tuesday when it comes out, and we'll have a little prosecco and some meat and cheeses and all that good stuff, and just make a whole evening out of it. So help Cristina out. Give her your support if you have Apple or Vudu. Check it out. Ariel, Back to Buenos Aires comes out September the 12th. If you're finding us for the first time and you enjoyed it, thank you. Love that you're here. We would absolutely love to have your support. It's easy to do. It's free. If you prefer to watch, our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. That's all we ask. Just hit subscribe. If you're listening, same thing. Wherever you listen to your podcast ad or whatever application you're using, just subscribe there. That'll help us so much. You can find today we put out episode 654. You can find all of those audio and video on our website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. And lastly, IMDb, which is the entertainment database. Some of you are probably getting tired of me bringing this up, but we're so proud of it. If you go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and just take a look at the page. It's free. You don't have to do anything but look, bring the page up. That traffic helps us out so much. IMDb named us one of its top 100 podcasts. We came in at number 82. There's 15 million podcasts out there, so being in a top 100 list, kind of a big deal for us. Small town, West Virginia, father and son team. We never had any ambition or designs or hope that we would get to this point. And that's all thanks to you. So thank you so much for the support. If you haven't subscribed, that would help us a ton. If you could go to imdb.com, look up To Opinionated, we'd appreciate that as well. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Two Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. You know, not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. You know, those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to IMDb, imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, you know, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.